You're listening to Where You Live with Gene Sullivan.
Welcome back to Where You Live with me, Gene Sullivan. I'm broadcasting from the True North Painting Studios. This show is brought to you by American Family Insurance, the Kim Bennett Agency, and Extreme Exteriors. You can count on Extreme Exteriors for expert installation of exterior siding, roofing, soffits, fascia, decks, windows, and more. With their knowledge and experience, they can design the perfect solution to make your home beautiful and energy efficient, saving you maintenance and money for years to come. Give them a call at 763-441-1334 and tell them Gene sent you. It's time now to hear from the Community Associations Institute. The CAI Minute is brought to you by New Concepts Rental Management. Whether you're an accidental landlord or a seasoned investor, New Concepts Rental Management can advise and guide you through every aspect of the business. Give us a call at 952-922-2500.
Are you a volunteer in your homeowner association? Maybe a residential property manager wanting to increase your industry knowledge and obtain professional credentials in property management. Are you a vendor or professional offering services to homeowners and associations or property managers? If you said yes to any one of those questions, then join the Community Association Institute. The CAI is a great organization, helping you be informed and more proficient in your homeowner association board member or property manager role. It's also a great way to network with potential clients. For nearly 40 years, CAI has provided education and resources to volunteer homeowners who govern community associations and the professionals who support them. Visit cai-mn.com to learn more. That's cai-mn.com. The Minnesota chapter of CAI holds monthly managers' luncheons, board member education training, property manager certification training, and much more. It also produces a bi-monthly informative magazine called Minnesota Community Living. Why not join the Community Association Institute today? You can do so online at cai-mn.com and select membership.
We're talking about this article that was in the Star Tribune earlier this week, talking about a member of the Minneapolis City Council, his name's Cam Gordon, is proposing an ordinance that would essentially license the care and feeding of free-roaming cats, of stray or feral cats in the city, as long as they're neutered. And he's thinking that perhaps this might be a way of taking care of the issue of stray and feral cats. What do you think about that? Would love to hear from you. We broadcast this show every week earlier before our Saturday broadcast. So if you would like to weigh in, tell us what you think, you can contact me by going online to our website at New Concepts, www.newconceptsgroup.com. You can pull down the education and resources. You can choose and select the menu for a radio show, and all of my contact information's there. If you want to give me a call, leave a message. If you want to send an email to me, and I'd be happy to address it on next week's show. We're talking about is this going to really take care of the issue? And I said before the last break that there are two specific groups here who are weighing in on this controversy on how to deal with feral or stray cats. And I want us to take a look at who are they? Who are these people and what are their backgrounds? Because I think that's important in the discussion. Anytime that you're going to have a discussion that's going to be meaningful, one of the basic tenets is that there needs to be a certain amount of intelligence. And I'm not talking about the IQ quotient of an individual. I'm talking about people having the same framework, the same basis of knowledge and information before them, because that's how you can discuss it and make the best decision. And do we have that here? I'm not so sure. The one group, if you have read that article from this last Wednesday, there were a couple of people that were used and quoted on the animal cat lover side, those that would be for this initiative to have an ordinance that would allow the care and feeding of feral cats and being able to put together cat colony. So it's not a matter of just feeding them, but putting together a cat colony. you have a couple of people. First of all, you have, of course, Cam Gordon, who's the Minneapolis City Council member. And what is his background? Well, he stated in the article himself, he said that Gordon has a cat, and he admits that he routinely allows his cat outside. But he said, he quickly said, I don't let it go very far. And he was quick to add, she isn't a very good hunter. But you have someone who's a cat lover who's proposing the ordinance, and he wants to be able to let his cat outside every once in a while. Okay? Who are the other people that were used in the article for this ordinance? Well, you had two other people who were basically volunteers and directors for specific animal shelters and animal rescue organizations, doing some great work. One is Christine Heinrichs, who is the clinic coordinator for Pet Project Rescue. You have Mike Fry, executive director of Animal Ark. Animal Ark is an organization that also does rescue of animals, dogs and cats, but they have as a very strong proponent, they don't want to see any animal killed. And I certainly understand that sentiment, and I in no way want to diminish that idea. Even whether or not you are a pet lover and you own a cat, own a dog, you don't want to see any animal mistreated. You don't want to see any animal abused, and that's important. So the idea of killing for the sake of killing, that is wrong. But what we're talking about here is we have right now with the city of Minneapolis through animal control, they go out and purposely catch stray animals, and they end up taking them back for a period of time, trying to find owners. But after a certain period of time, they have to make a decision, and some animals are transferred to the Humane Society, where they try further to match up someone who wants this stray animal. But there are other times when nobody can be found, and so they end up putting animals to sleep. And while that is bad, do we not have with the DNR, for example, when we're talking about the management of our natural resources and wild animals, don't we have the control of certain animals by what we allow in allowing animals to be killed? And hunters are allowed some years to take more of one animal and species than in other years because they're trying to manage the overall population. Because the idea that you save every single one isn't necessarily, quote unquote, the right thing to do. Because if you have too many and not enough food resources, the animals starve and they have a terrible life anyway. And so what we're talking about here, is this the right way to go for the city of Minneapolis to take a look at? So this is the animal lovers, who are the group on the other side. Well, if you look at the other people that are being quoted, you have people like Joanna Eccles, who is with the Minnesota chapter of the Audubon Society. She has a degree in natural resources and wildlife science from Cornell University. They also talk about a recent study by the Smithsonian Conservation Biology Institute, and we'll talk about what that study found out shortly here. You have a ornithologist at the University of Minnesota by the name of Robert Zink, and they also quoted a gentleman by the name of Grant Sizemore, who's with the director with the American Bird Conservancy. He has a degree in zoology and environmental science from the University of Florida. He also has a master's in wildlife ecology and environmental science. These aren't any slouches by any means. And what's interesting, if you read the article this last week, there was a real pronounced dividing line between these two camps. You have on one side people who are scientists who have committed their lives to ecology, the environment, wildlife, the environmental sciences, and they all came up with something very interesting. They said when they were asked about this ordinance, what would you think of an ordinance of being able to feed stray and feral cats and setting up people who are permitted now to have cat colonies in the city of Minneapolis to continue to feed them? They all unequivocally said it would be a bad idea. We had Robert Zink from the University of Minnesota who said, he said, house cats are not a part of our outside environment, and they do not belong there. He said, when they are there, they are pure and simple ecological pollution. Joanna Eccles from the Minnesota chapter Audubon Society, she said, wildlife conservationists say that trap, neuter, and release programs, which is what we would be talking about here, only perpetuate the problem further. And she said there is no other animal, she was quoted as saying, where we spay and neuter and take a look at them in this same balanced way. Would you think of doing that with the deer population if they were getting out of hand? Would you think of that with doing with any other animal? This scientist said, no, you wouldn't. But why are we? Well, we're doing it because these are pets. These are people that we have. We look at them differently. And it's an important issue. What is the city of Minneapolis going to do? Are they going to pass this ordinance concerning the feeding and care of spay and feral cats? Well, we're going to find out more, but we're going to take a break right now, so let's do it. Don't go away. A lot more on Where You Live after these messages.